Okay, cool. So, some things, depending on what you do in life or how much you're multitasking, whatever your stressful situation is between family or living away from family or friends or going off for a job or whatever your responsibilities are. Some people tack on as many responsibilities as they can, and then as much as they can accumulate, and they're living paycheck to paycheck, while they're trying to manage all the stuff. You got to find out how to relax. It's one of the stress factors can lead to emotional issues, and I've had my fair share of emotional issues that lasted for years of my life before I was able to work through them. And unfortunately, I had to work through all of them by myself, which is not an uncommon thing for service members. People like to say they care about the vets, but sitting down, getting a civilian to sit down and have a conversation with you for hours until you feel better, well, that's nearly impossible for anyone to do with you. Okay, so I'm at this place right. The balcony of my apartment is actually right. Okay, right there, right through the traffic lights is the balcony of my apartment. That's where I live, on the second floor of that building. And so there's the police station here, which is seen from the balcony of my apartment. And there's basketball court here. And then there's this. I mean, you guys seen places like this. You go to a state park or whatever, they have a lot of things set up like this. Dipping bars, pull-up bars that you can stretch from and hang from, and then they have various other equipment here. But they have so many of these in China. Like, just in my city, I've seen 20 different areas of various sizes that have all this type of build this equipment out of solid metal with paint. I mean, this stuff's going to be here for decades, if not 100 years, before it ever needs to be replaced. They have stuff like this all over the place. But we got this very nice area, minute walk from my house. And right up here, I've been here several times, so there's a lot of older people here in the community. I don't know any of these people. I'm not sure. I just came down here to hang out with them and sit around, drink some beer. I bought some Guinness. There's a place right. I just walked there, 2 minutes walk from home. It's the cheapest place I've ever bought Guinness in my life. I bought a few there the day before the China Happy New Year time. I thought they gave me a special price on it, 10 yuan. So you divide that by 6.5, like $1.50 for a Guinness. I thought they were giving me a special deal. So I revisited it today before coming here, and that's what they charged, 10 yuan. So I bought several of them. It's like, what time is it right now? It's 5:05 in the afternoon. Came out here, drink some Guinness. These guys are playing cards, the usual. It's kind of a chill environment. You get various people up here. You can see on that ramp, they're just playing cards with their boys. And then sometimes early in the morning, on a lot of days, groups come out here and they play instruments together, and they have a conductor and everything, and they sit in this area right here, a bunch of stringed instruments, and then sometimes a singer. But right up this hill, which would only take me 1 minute to walk up there, I've been up there a couple different mornings, and there'll just be like one or two or three random old Chinese guys just up there practicing Tai Chi by themselves, doing their exercises. Really nice down here. I've been around a lot of different people in my life, and I've worked with a lot of people, and these guys are all looking at me. But I just came down here to hang out here. My wife she didn't want to get out of bed. She spent all day yesterday in bed, and the day before that, and I just spent like 30 minutes in the apartment getting ready to come out here. I brought a bunch of stuff with me, food and my fanny pack and the water bottle, and I bought some beer, and I was in there in the apartment like 30 minutes getting ready to leave. I told her I was going to come right out here. I'm just pointing right off the balcony. She can look right out here. She's on the couch, and like 1 minute when I had everything on, ready to walk out the door, she's like, "Give me 10 minutes to get ready." It's like she's done this hundreds of times. Like, anyways, she can walk out here anytime, get here in a couple minutes. It's just a rainy day, but sprinkling a little bit. There's water in the ground, but in this area, in this time of the year, it more than half the days are like this. We only have there's always like a slight sprinkle of water in the air, and I really like that. But It's a great area. My wife really likes basketball. She's actually better at basketball than I am. It's one of the few things that she's better at than I am when it comes to games or sports. I'll just give you an example. She doesn't know how to swim. I've taught people how to swim, and we've gone swimming many times. And we've had pools where we lived the first 2 years. We had a pool in our community, and I've tried many times to get her to trust me in the water so I can help her learn how to swim. I've taught people how to swim. She panics. You know, your lungs are your balloons, and she just immediately panics and breathes out all her air and just sinks, and she just won't trust me. She won't let go of that float of hers. She brings swimming with her every time. So, you know, bowling and pool, and sometimes she beats me at pool. We played a lot of games of pool, you know, several hundred games of pool over these last 2 years. She's getting better. But, oh, and she's really good at shooting a bow and arrow, actually. We did that a couple of times. She's really good at that. But she's really good at basketball, just as far as, we haven't really played any games like full court press or anything, but like making a shot. Like we've done a bunch of games of horse and pig and just like free throw shots. Like she gets twice as many basketballs in from any distance from the hoop than I do. I'll just put it that way. But when it comes to shooting the basketballs at the arcade, you know, where you're doing it for points and it's only like 4 feet away, I crush her at that because I'll get a lot of practice. You know, play like 3, 4, 5 of those games in a row, and I'm setting like the high score for the arcade in that machine. I just boom in. But real basketball, my wife's really good at that, and she's not. You know, she's using a men's size basketball. You know, women's and men's size basketball. She's really good at shooting basketball compared to me. So, you know, average, she's like 60%, 70% in the net. You know, she likes using the backboard a lot, but she gives those swishes all the time. She's real good at that. So that's right here. That's real good. You know, my wife has the biggest struggle I've had in my marriage is getting her to get out of bed and or leave the house for the day. And I could talk about that for hours, how much of a struggle that is. I mean, some days she doesn't get out of bed till 8 p.m. at night. So she has suffered severe depression and gone through a lot of that stuff in her life before she met me, and that's continued on with her marriage with me. It's been our main struggle, or my main struggle, every single day. Nearly every single day. Nearly every single day of our marriage, I'm trying to get her out of bed, and then after that, you know, get her to eat something, drink something, start her day, shower, do something. And then the next thing is to get her to leave the house, and then the next struggle is to get her to get in a good mood for the day. So that's, I've spent the majority of these first, you know, over 2 years of my marriage struggling with that each and every day, trying to get her to, you know, she wakes up with a depression, just these thoughts, doesn't crawl out of bed, just sits there. I mean, anyone that's ever experienced difficulty getting out of bed because you just like have a feeling of like, fuck the world, what's the point, everything's working against me, and you overcame that, and you finally did start, you know, enjoying your life or doing things. That is very simply walked away from and ended the moment you start just getting out of bed every day or doing something to distract yourself. I try to make it sense to my wife because she doesn't speak English fluently, so I have to say it in ways that make sense to her. And one of the ways I thought up was explaining to her that her home is not her head. You know those sayings like you keep it bottled up too much and then you explode. Yeah, so I've tried various different ways to say things in a way that she's never heard before. And there's a lot of American phrases that she's never heard also, but that's one of the ones I've been using recently here in the last few weeks to explain to her that her home is not her head. She needs to get out of bed, do something with me, and because I don't stay in bed with her all day. You know, I get up, I'm in the house doing something, cleaning, eating, on my computer, doing something, just waiting for her to get out of bed. And every day I have to go in the bedroom multiple times. Hey, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Are you up yet? Are you awake? Give me 10 minutes. She says that hundreds of times. Next thing you know, it's 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours. Next day later, doesn't get out of bed. So she did that to me right before I left the house to come out here, give her 10 minutes after she had just been lying on the couch in the living room the whole time. watching me get ready to leave after I told her where I was going. So it's been a continuing struggle for me. But I'm out here. I'm gonna be drinking beers. None of these guys know me. Hopefully some of them approach me or offer me cigarettes. It's a common thing they do in China, even if you can't speak the language. Offer you a cigarette. And yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy myself out here, relax, and you know, when you're going through things in life, even though I am retired, I don't have to work. I have a lot on my mind, and this is what I'm doing right now to relax and making this video first. After I first got out here and got that semi-dry chair, hung my stuff up, and yeah, made this video, and that's a wrap. I'll upload it when I get back to my apartment.